Hi, everyone. Welcome to DBC Inc. Live. I am Tara Martin, your host, and we have two very special guests on the show with us tonight. We have Kristin Daley. So excited. You guys know her. She's usually blah blah blah. She is usually one of the first comments over in the comment section. And by the way, if you are joining us, please do enter your name over in the comment section. Let us know you're here. Tell us where you're from. I'm going to make sure we're streaming because I'm not seeing it on the side. So looks good. Oh, I see some people jumping in now. I think we're good to go. And then we also have Jesse Greene, who is Kristin's 7th grade science teaching partner over in Massachusetts. And so we are excited to have these two on the show and be able to share a little bit about a project that they do. And so I think you are in for a really amazing treat. Welcome, Julie. So excited to have you tonight. From Oregon. Awesome. Do you know Tisha? That would be awesome. I just assume anybody in Oregon should know Tisha, as if Oregon is like this tiny little city. But I'm going to let these two introduce themselves a little bit more formally. And as you are coming in, please tell us who you are, where you're from, and maybe share just something good that happened this week. You can share anything. Sean, it's exciting to have you. Yeah, you almost got that spot. Yeah, when Kristin's in the live, like she doesn't gonna be over in the comment section. So somebody else is going to have to be that first one. All right. Well, Kristin, I'm gonna turn over to you first. Tell us a little bit about you, what you do, and then we'll lead over to Jesse.
All right, awesome. I am so excited to be on this side of the Facebook Live. It's really exciting. And Sean is also from Massachusetts. We talk all the time, but we have never actually met in person. So that's someday hopefully we'll meet in person. But I teach 7th grade science at a school called Tantasqua. It's in Sturbridge, Massachusetts. And I've been teaching for about 25 years. And this is my colleague, Jesse, and I will have him introduce himself too.
So hi, my name is Jesse. Obviously, I work at Tantasqua also with Kristin. And I've worked there for about 10. This is my 10th year and 7th grade science teacher. But I also used to be a special ed teacher in 6th grade for 7 years and some other teaching stuff before that too. So but anyway, in the end, I landed in science in 7th grade because it's just my favorite part of every day when I worked in 6th grade. And so I thought, well, why not just have all parts of my day be that every day? So anyway.
Sure. I love that. I love it. Getting to do what you love every single day is perfect. And I think Honey heard that it was a science session. She's like, hey, I gotta come to this one. She thinks she's used to jump in all the time. She's so tall too. Before long, she's just gonna walk over and be able to see you guys without jumping up. So we are so excited to have both of you in the house tonight. I know you have a really cool project you like to share with us. So we're just going to dive right in. I know we only spend about 20, 30 minutes on these shows, and I know you have something prepared to share with us. So I'm just going to let you two take over. I'm going to exit the screen just for a little bit while you are sharing. And then I'll come back in and we'll have questions. So if you're over in the comment section, you have some questions about the things that Kristin and Jesse are sharing, you want to learn more, be sure and put those questions over in the comment section. We'll be sure and answer them. And I'll let you two take it away.
All right. So our project has to do with the American chestnut tree. And this is definitely like a science-based project, but what we're really proud of is how our students have evolved over the project and what leadership they've kind of taken from it. But we're gonna try not to like give you too much tonight as far as like a presentation, but in order to kind of understand where we're at, we thought that we'd just share a few little some background information. So the American chestnut tree grew in the eastern United States, and it was a huge tree. So these were trees that were found around here. I know that there's a lot of people joining from the West Coast and Midwest, but on the East Coast, we had trees. They weren't as big as redwood trees, but they were called the redwoods of the East. anyways, so they were a very important tree to the ecosystems, to people. People built a lot of things with them. They're very sturdy, rot-resistant wood. But in the early 1900s, a invasive species of fungus was brought over accidentally, but it spread and it killed all of the American chestnut trees in a span of about 40 to 50 years. It was killed by a fungus called Craphenectria parasitica. It's the orange stuff on the bark there. But the tree is not considered extinct. It is considered to be functionally extinct because the fungus only attacks the tree from the ground up. The ground up. So anything in the root system is still kind of viable, but only happens in the right conditions will trees start to sprout, like the picture on the bottom right. But what happens is those trees eventually either get shaded out by large trees or they get the fungus and die, and they never get back to where they were before 1904. So I'm going to give Jesse the next slide because he plays a really important role in the next part of this project. Oh, I can change it, Jesse. Sorry.
Oh.
I think, here we go. There we go.
So, so in the top left picture on this slide, you can see that there's a tornado there, and that happens to be. I live right at the base of the mountain where that tornado is coming from, and before this was 2011, so. In our town, the tornado came across. It's Massachusetts, and tornadoes like this aren't like a common thing that you would expect, so it was quite a surprise. Before this tornado hit, the story of the American chestnut was something that we used to teach some aspects of our ecology class already, but the tornado was an event that turned everything we did with the chestnut at school into like a much bigger deal. So the tornado went across the mountain, and then the picture on the right there, you can see like the aftermath of that. The forest was pretty much wiped out. The canopy, just some spindly trees left there. And then a few years after that, I went for a hike after some trails had been cleared through the debris, and I started seeing what I didn't know was there before, but it was American chestnut trees growing on the forest floor and really making a big go of it because sunlight was now able to make it all the way to the ground where they were, and because they were sort of wallowing in the shade there all those years, but not totally gone, they started to grow. And so the picture there down on the bottom left there, you can see is basically how bushy everything got up there, and almost all of that green that you see are American chestnut leaves. So when I saw that, I was pretty surprised and shared what I had found with students at school, who then became like very excited about all of this. And it's, is this a big deal? Can we is there something we can do to help these trees grow? It seems like they're trying themselves really hard. Is there anything we can do? And so, to make a long story short, Kristin and I, neither one of us really knew what you could do, but we figured that when you have that much enthusiasm in your class from students, maybe instead of, not doing anything about it, you should step forward and ask for help. And so we contacted the Massachusetts chapter of the American Chestnut Foundation, who's been working to, help this species ever since, going way back, but officially starting in the 1980s. And they came to school, and they, to be honest, they didn't know how we could help either. So we just sort of had a brainstorming meeting with them, and a group of students and teachers and professionals concerning chestnut trees got together and decided that maybe what could be done is the American Chestnut Foundation could provide pollen from their breeding program that's been going since the 1980s where they've developed a tree that is largely American chestnut. It's 15/16 American chestnut and is 1/16 Chinese, because Chinese chestnuts are resistant to this disease. And if they were there, it was their idea to give us the pollen, and since we had a place where these trees were starting to flower and produce seeds in the path of the tornado, we could cross-pollinate and create a brand new version of the tree that also included genetics from the Northeast United States. Most of their breeding efforts at that are more further south on the East Coast, and so adding cold hardiness into the tree would be a useful goal for someday when these trees are try to establish them back in the forest. So in the picture there, and in the middle on the bottom, there's a student. Students came onto the mountain with teachers all together. We sort of learned together how to do the cross-pollinating work. The picture over on the right-hand side are students after they've got the flowers pollinated in the spring, and they're pointing up there because they know those, we called them the kids, right? And we're talking about the flowers. Everybody said, "Good luck, kids, let the branches swing back up into the sky, and then we'll see it in the fall when hopefully we've got little baby trees and seeds in there that can grow up to resist the blight and grow into trees that can be part of the forest again." And then Kristin's going to take you on the last slide to show you what we did with all those seeds.
So as Jesse and I were discussing, like how are we going to like incorporate this into our ecology lessons, or what should we really do about it? We like kind of right away we're like, we need to involve the kids. Like, this shouldn't be our project. It should be a kids project, student project. And, we incorporate in our regular ecology unit, but we kind of go above and beyond that too. So any kids that are like really interested can join our Chestnut Tree Club. And this has been a huge success story. We have done everything from real science, where we're cross-pollinating plants. We're actually doing it. We're harvesting nuts. We also manage some of the land up on with the mountain where we found those mother chestnut trees, and we trim the brush. So we do all kinds of like field work like that. But then these kids are also like public speakers. So we sit here and tell you this story, but any kid that has been involved in our project could sit here and tell you the same thing. So like we're talking like 12, 13-year-olds could sit here and tell you about genetics, science, ecology, conservation. And we've presented at places where they've talked in front of maybe even like 50 to 100 people. And they're confident and they're smart and they're articulate, and we're just really proud of them. This project changes every year, and we don't decide what we're doing. In fact, yesterday we had our first meeting of the fall. We call it our board meeting. And the kids were deciding what projects we're going to work on, what direction we're going to take this in, who we want to tell our story to. So we're a team. It's not just a club that's run by teachers. It's a club that's a team. We all do the work in it. We all make decisions together. So it's kind of an overview. We've been talking a lot, so I don't know if we want to see if there's any questions or anything. Oh. Tara, I can't hear you.
I was just saying, Honey's joining us today, that I love it. I love it so much. And I think that it's just such a great project when the kids see a need and then teachers respond with, I don't know exactly how we're going to try to support this, but we're going to figure out a way together, Yeah. And I think that there's so many projects like that. And that's really what project-based learning is all about, right? That's what it is. I mean, I think so often in class, sometimes in class, I guess not so often. Sometimes in class, we will call it a project. We will call it a project-based learning experience. And then like, is it really serving people? Is it serving a purpose? Are we actually doing some work for something? Yeah. Or is it just for a grade? Or is it just like a piece of cardboard that we're actually going to throw away. No offense to that, but sometimes I think we spin our wheels in certain directions that don't really serve a bigger purpose. And this project is just a perfect example of one of those amazing pieces that can actually serve a purpose. And the kids came up with it. And that's what's so beautiful about it. You guys were like, hey, this isn't our project. This is the kids' project.
Yeah, I would say that even like we're even maybe one step above project-based learning. Like we are part of the biggest de-extinction project that has ever happened.
There you go.
I mean, that's like super cool. And I think also this project does not end. It's not like our students finish the grade and then we never see them again. Mm-hmm. We have students that they graduated in 2021. They were the first kids that came through this. And one of them, Lewis, he's a sophomore in college, and he just came to our meeting yesterday. And he is like up and running a separate like sister project in the town where the tornado was, replanting trees. We have kids that are going to school for forestry because of this. Like it's just kept going and going and going.
That's awesome. I'm excited about it. I think this is such a cool project. And like you said, it never ends. It's the project that continues to always serve the next kids can also participate and push forward. Jesse, thanks so much for sharing all of the different parts and pieces and how you guys got to the place of allowing the kids to figure out like, hey, well, what are you going to do about it? So what are we going to do about it? I'm kind of curious, what kind of process did you guys go through in that phase?
Well, the first thing you have to do is you have to admit it, that you don't really have a plan, and which can be pretty scary. We right near the beginning, we sort of realized that we needed a way to work with students, but maybe not all the students at once, so that we could figure out what we were doing, and then that smaller group would guide everyone else. So that's kind of where the idea of the after school club came. Yeah. And then, so what it has ended up being now is that, every year there's 300 students that learn the general, Chestnut curriculum, because there's about 300 seventh graders every year. I mean, this is our 7th year, so we're up to like 2,100 kids have learned the basics. And then every year, whoever is most interested in ends up in that club. And then it was kind of interesting. The other day, we had an interview with a newspaper reporter, and he was asked a lot of really good questions. But one of his last questions was like, well, what do you think it is that keeps kids coming back all the way through college? I mean, we always kind of wondered, once these first kids go to, we have our school is 7th and 8th grade. Once they go across the street to the high school, are we ever going to see them again? And then it was like year after year we did. And why is that? And so we were discussing it with the reporter, and we were, what it is that the nature of the project gives students agency in what's going on. So, instead of like having the project, done to you, you are like deciding what the project is. And there was quite a progression. The first thing was we had the idea for the project, and their idea was like validated by like the local professionals. The Massachusetts chapter like took us seriously and like found a way for us to be involved. And then, that was like step one, I think. And then, to plant an orchard at your school, you have to like go higher than usual. You have to go to the school committee and get permission to use the land. Our orchard there in that picture there, it's actually the front lawn of the school. So there was like they had to go and present the project, explain it good enough so that the people who run their school would like have enough trust and faith that they would do something good with the front yard of the school, and the more that they were, their work was validated in those ways, the more agency I think that they felt. And the older they got and the more capable. And then the reporter was saying, so it's kind of like instead of growing out of it, after 7th grade, they don't grow out of it. They just continue to grow into it more and more and more. And that's really what it is. After we, once we got through the school level, like we went out into the community with this, and we're doing all this stuff, cross-pollinating in a town that's not even where the school is. The tornado path where we do the work is in Munson. And so we did a public presentation there because it just seems like you should be sharing that. And then the town validated the work further, and they have a replanting Munson tree committee that then signed up to be sort of a sister project with the Tantascwa one. And today there's like 5 acres of land in that tornado path that have been planted with over 500 hybrid trees. And the town has sought grant money for that through the community preservation fund that they have. They've spent almost $70,000 on taking off, inspired by, helping chestnut trees, all because these kids reached out and shared what they did. So I think as a student, when people are putting their money where your mouth is, and you know what I mean,
Yeah.
Then it makes you know that it's worth doing, and that's kind of infectious and not your typical in school. It makes the work be for real. So I think that's probably one of the biggest strengths.
It's so true. And I think, as you said, the more that they feel validated, the more they want to keep doing. They want to keep being a part of that because they're making a change. They're making a difference. And it's so big. It's so much bigger than themselves. And once kids can feel like, what I'm doing in school actually has a greater purpose than a grade or than moving on to the next grade. And as you said, I love the statement you said about growing into the project, because the older they get, the more they think about, the more they learn. And they're like, hey, we were doing this project and I kind of want to see where it's still going and how can I still support this? And who knows, one day they might be financially able to support it and still be coming back. You never know, right?
That's right.
So Cool. It's so amazing to me, and just a testament to what wonderful teachers you are to listen to the kids. They saw something and they wanted to do something about it. And you two, even if it felt scary, because no one knew exactly what we were going to be doing, there wasn't a curriculum already built. You went ahead and dove in and cannonballed in, if you will, and just did the thing and figured it out. How are we going to do this? Let the kids figure it out. Let's work together. Let's collaborate and let's make a difference. And there's such a powerful message for the kids to see their teachers do and trust them, but also for other teachers to be able to see what you guys have done and chosen to do with this project. I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, we can't wait to see where it goes. I mean, that's kind of been the theme. It keeps going, new places that you didn't plan on because you didn't have a plan for that. But people add their talents to it. And, there's the last meeting we had, there was all kinds of talk about, doing things with chestnuts as far as cooking, recipes. They want to roast chestnuts and sell them at the football game. I mean, there's all kinds of ideas, and it's just fun. That meeting yesterday was so fun because everyone was just excited, and it's really neat. How many other places do you go to a after school club meeting that has 13-year-olds all the way up to basically 20? Yeah. And they all are equal, Yeah. That's the neatest, coolest thing about it.
So cool. So cool.
And we do have a third teacher, just to mention, third, 7th grade science teacher, Cassie Amadeo. She also teaches the whole Chestnut curriculum, but she's a coach, so she doesn't always have time to do the project stuff with us. But I did want to mention her because she's also a really big part of this too.
For sure. And probably the community too. Everybody just getting involved and excited about it. Your school community to take it on you know, and grow the, let the kids have this access to be able to continue their project. So exciting. And what a cool project. I've never even heard of it and until Kristin brought it to my attention. And I was just so excited to have you two on the show, sharing this out and reminding teachers all over that, we need to be open-minded, to the kids and what they see a need for out in the community and how can they help support it? Because there's a lot of things we can do and tie it right into the curriculum of what we do. And so you did that so beautifully. Super exciting.
And I did see Sean had asked a question about like what anybody else can do. I think that just hearing the story and there are chestnuts, pure chestnuts that are out there. So, letting the American Chestnut Foundation know if you see something that you think might be a chestnut, and then they're aware of it, they can do stuff about it. There was just a guy in Delaware that got a whole bunch of press about finding a pure tree. But 2 of our students on their own time found trees that were comparable as this guy that just got an article in the Washington Post. So,
so cool. Super cool. Well, if people want to find you on social media, Kristin, I know that you often share your social media. Let me pull off the banner. So it might be on there already. No. Okay. So if people want to find or connect with you too, or they want to figure out a way to help somehow the Chestnut Project, the Chestnut Tree Project, how can they reach you too?
So I'm on Twitter at Daily Science. And I saw Dave, hi Dave, put in about we do a Twitter chat on Wednesday nights. It's Sci-T-Lab, so Science Teaching Like a Pirate. So if anyone would like to join, we run that on Wednesday night. It's at 8:30 Eastern time. And we also have a website. So I don't know if you saw, if it came through in the chat earlier, but we do have a website if you wanted to check out more. And then Jesse, I'm not sure if you're still on Twitter or not.
Yeah, I'm not on any social media.
Okay.
But people email me about this all the time. So really, if anyone wanted to email, it's Greene with an E on the end, j@tantascwa.org.
Perfect. And I'll drop that over in the comments section as well. I'm going to do that right now. And then, this has just been amazing. I'm super excited to hear the story. And I did drop the website over here as well. So make sure that we have that correct.
Yep.
Are we good there? Okay. Yep. And then, this has just been so fun. And I love just finding out what other people are doing out in the field and being able to share their story with others. And I can't wait to hear if some of you out there decide to try some kind of project that maybe was inspired by the Chestnut Tree Project and you want to share that out. If you do and you want to join in up with us on DBC Inc. Live, we would absolutely love to have you. I did pick Jesse's email over here, so be sure and check that out if you are interested in connecting with him. Kristin, most of you know how to follow her on Twitter, but I'll let Dave drop that one over. He did already over here in the comments section. So thank you so much for joining us, Jesse, Kristin. We just love this story. We're excited about what you're doing for kids, and we're excited about what your kids are doing for the world and making the world just such a better place. So thanks again for joining us. This is so much fun.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Everyone, thank you. We'll see you next Thursday night. If you haven't checked your email already, there is a hook of the week. You will want to check that out. It's all about some silence, the power of silence. Man, there's so many things we can do when we're silent to get our kids' attention. It's very interesting. So you go check that out. And if you're interested and you did not see it in your email, you can go to daveburgessconsulting.com and look at our blogs and you will find it there. So thanks everyone for joining. Thanks, Kristin and Jesse. And we hope that you all have a wonderful night.
Thank you.